that's your mission. That's the only thing you need to focus on. It won't make sense. I just spent 20 minutes of the drive here talking to you guys, introducing this video, and my mic wasn't plugged in. And you know what's crazy about that as well? I actually had an intuitive hit saying that the microphone wasn't plugged in, and I ignored it. You know what? Things happen. I get it. That's fine. I get it. I'm fine. Ross from Friends, I'm fine. No, seriously, I'm fine. All right, hold on. Concentrate. This is my partner's car and he would kill me if anything went wrong. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Shalay, and on this channel we discuss all things spirituality, multidimensionality, and even extraterrestrials. And that was Amani Jen's attempt to try and niche herself. So the topic of today's video is going to be all about our soul purpose, our mission statement on earth, our destiny, the thing that we came here to do. Your purpose isn't to come to earth and to have this like one thing that you're here to do, and that one thing is like going to be your thing for the rest of your life. Your purpose can be a number of things, and this took me a while to understand. Once upon a time I did think about it in a very like linear way. You know, we have a purpose, we just have to find that purpose, and that's what we do, and once we found that purpose we're good for the rest of our lives. I genuinely did believe that. So when I had my spiritual awakening, I went down the path of, you know, trying to find my soul purpose in my career, in my work. And I do believe that many of us do this, because your purpose isn't like one particular thing. Your purpose isn't to be a Reiki master. Your purpose isn't to be a shaman. Your purpose isn't to be a psychic. Your purpose isn't to be, you know what I mean? That's not your sole purpose. It might be an aspect of your purpose, but it's not your like one thing that you're here to do, because your purpose is ever changing. So I think we need to change our thought process on how we actually tackle this term. Our purpose is just to experience this dimension, to experience Earth, to experience this reality. We use our likes and our dislikes to guide us to what lights our soul up the most, but not to be fixated and to cling on to certain things, because it is ever changing as you change. So it's so important to just follow where your intuition is nudging you, even when it doesn't make sense. Your sole purpose is to just do whatever the fuck lights you up. That is your sole purpose, and that is going to look completely different to everyone. So in saying that, you know, purpose is just about experiencing, when you've lived a lifetime of doing things based off of other people's wants, what society is telling you is good and bad, you kind of lose your soul along the way. And I know that that's true for me and my story. I really kind of lost who I was, because I just molded myself to fit into like society's standards, that I genuinely had like no hobbies, no interests or anything like that. And I forgot about this part of myself, but literally I had nothing. I had nothing that excited me. I actually did a live not long ago about stepping into fear, and then I had a girl on there talking about purpose, how she can't find what her thing is, what her purpose is. Like nothing excites her, nothing interests her. And that was me. So that's like really inspired this whole video, because this topic goes so deep. I need to do my washing. And this is like every starseed's worst nightmare. I'm gonna have the conversation while I do my washing, because that is hitting two birds with one stone, and that is Amani Jan's wet dream. For me, growing up in high school and just growing up in general, all I wanted was to be accepted. I wanted to feel accepted. I wanted to feel included. If that meant abandoning who I was as a person just so I could have a friend, then I was going to do that. Lots of people do that, right? It's a very subconscious thing, and you don't know that that's what you're doing in the moment. We're all just trying to find connection, and we're all just trying to find ourselves. So on this journey, we kind of lose ourselves, which is what we intended as souls. We intended to forget so that we could find ourselves again. When I started to awaken to spirituality, so for me, I was an atheist prior to even getting into this world, but when I started to awaken to my soul, because I didn't even realize I had a soul. I remember the moment that I was like reintroduced to my soul. It was sad. It was just kind of like my soul was so lost, so confused, so angry, didn't know what way to go, didn't know who she was. It was like meeting with somebody who had forgotten everything about themselves, because I didn't know myself at that point. I had spent years ignoring myself, ignoring my desires, ignoring what I wanted to do. That's dirty. Don't know how that ended up in there. For me, it was a process to find myself again, to find what I was into, to find what I was interested in. My partner I've been with for 9 years, and that was something he always used to say to me prior to my awakening. He would always say, you know, you should get a hobby. What are you into? You don't really have anything that you're into. I would just literally hang off him and my best friend, who I now do a podcast with, by the way. Consciously Thriving podcast. If you need a good spiritual podcast to listen to, definitely good. And no, I'm not biased. Anyway, but yeah, so he would just be like, you know, you're not really into anything, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, yeah, you're right, because I didn't fucking know who I was. So I didn't come into spirituality having any hobbies. I say that because I spent years trying to push my YouTuber desire, my dream to be on YouTube, down into the pits of my soul, because I was terrified of that reality. I was terrified of actually chasing that dream. I did really know what I wanted out of life. I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew that that was exciting, but that wasn't my goal back then. I wasn't going towards, oh, this excites me and this strains me. I was going towards, okay, what is reputable in society? What will get me a good job that I can stand doing, that would be accepted? One part of me believes that we all know what we should be doing or where our soul wants to go in some way, shape, or form. Sometimes we won't know how to get there, but we know what we want, and that is enough. That is enough to start stepping into your purpose, as long as you know what you want. And the other part of my point is actually taking the time to get to know your soul again. So get to know, you know, who you are on a soul level, what lights you up, what doesn't light you up. And sometimes that takes you actually spending time with yourself. I had to spend a big chunk of time actually finding myself again. Personally, I did that through meditation and breath work. I highly recommend it. I actually have a free meditation guide that I created on how I got started with meditating, because it was one of those things that was so hard at the beginning. I was suffering with debilitating anxiety and panic attacks, and it was just something that completely transformed my life in that sense. But then it also transformed my life in, you know, building this really intimate relationship with myself. And now I will not skip a day without meditating. And if I do, for whatever reason, I always feel so off, right? It's so important to be able to quiet the outside noise so that you can come back to yourself. You need to get to know who you are. You need to be able to hear your soul, and that comes through self-awareness. And another way that I really found myself, and this was for me, and this isn't true for everyone, but it was through systems such as human design, astrology, gene keys. They were just confirmation tools for me to give me permission to step into the life that I desire. I was looking for validation through those systems, if I'm being really honest with myself, and I think many people do. But I don't think that that's a bad thing, especially when you're trying to step out of your comfort zone and do something that goes against the herd. I mean, those systems have been given to us as tools to utilize in the physical world to better navigate this experience, to better navigate ourselves and understand ourselves on such a deep level. And you get to take what resonates and you get to leave what doesn't. In this life, we have complete free will on what we take on board and what we don't take on board. But to be honest, like, these systems really help me to find myself, feel free to express in the way that I am. My voice hurts. You know what though? I actually got through the washing and I'm not mad about it. I did get through. Oh, I have more washing. What is wrong with men? I have no leg to stand on. I just did the same thing. He's putting dirty clothes in the clean clothes, but I literally just did that before with my shirt. That's dirty. Don't know how that ended up in there. It's so funny having these spiritual perspectives of, like, the concept of the law is one and everything is a reflection of you, right? You can take that really literally, and sometimes I do. It really depends on the situation. I want to get mad at him for things like this, but, like, I just did the same thing. So he's just, like, reflecting my behavior, so I can't get mad. It's really annoying. This is honestly like my favorite thing to do. I just love to ground. You know what grounding looks like. You don't need to see that. I just want somebody to, like, hold this there for me while I talk. Can I manifest that? So after you've spent the time getting to know yourself, getting to know your soul, whatever that looks like for you, then you can start really listening to what lights you up and what doesn't light you up. And this is a process, you know? It's so important to start following what you do like and what you don't like, because what you do like and what you don't like, that's your mission. That's the only thing you need to focus on. It won't make sense. A lot of the decisions I've made up until this point make no sense. Like, I've abandoned a business that was was working to do YouTube. It genuinely made no sense, but I knew that my soul was calling me to do this instead. We need to be listening to what our soul is calling us to do. That's our only focus. It's raining! Shit! I was really loving that. If I didn't have my camera, I would stay out here. Well, that was short-lived. To continue, my friends. So just start acting on the things that you do like, because that's going to lead you down the right path. When I had my awakening, there is no way. I mean, like, look at your own life. The way things pan out, you can never predict what's going to happen or how it's going to happen. All you can control is how you respond to what happens. Start making decisions that are in alignment to your higher self. Get rid of all the shit that you're doing. And I mean in every area of your life, whether you're doing things for a parent that you don't want to be doing for whatever reason, you don't even need to justify it. You don't need to justify it. If your body is saying, I don't want to fucking do this, that's it. Don't do that thing. And don't half-ass this either. Do it in every area of your life, because the more that you take away the things that you don't want to do, the more room you're going to allow for inspiration to kick in, for creativity, for your intuition and your higher self to be giving you things that you want to do. The way you do one thing is the way that you do everything. See what I'm saying? Has it stopped raining? Sorry, mate. Yay! It stopped raining! Okay. I'm literally gonna go back outside. So there's one thing finding out who you are, right? Doing all the exploration, looking into astrology, human design, gene keys, whatever resonates, quieting your mind, gaining that self-awareness, really understanding what makes you you. Then the second part to that is obviously eliminating everything in your life that doesn't serve you and keeping everything that does, keeping whatever nourishes your soul. The next part of this is action. Really taking action on the things that light your soul on fire. As cliche as that sounds, actually taking the action steps to create physical change. You're not going to find what you enjoy until you actually do it. You're not going to know unless you try it. I thought that I was going to love doing readings and healings on people, but I didn't. And I only found that out doing the thing, right? Just 2 years ago, I was doing a job full time in a career that didn't inspire me, didn't light me up. Now, most of my time is just spent creating, doing what I love. And I never ever would have come to this point in my life where I'm just so happy if it wasn't for me taking that action. So love yourself enough to make these changes in your life. I feel like that's where a lot of people get stuck. They're really good at like understanding the concepts, intellectualizing everything. When it actually comes to taking the action that's going to create the change, that's where a lot of people get stuck. And it really, really relates to purpose, because without action, you're not going to know what you like. You're not going to know what you don't like. You're just going to be in this like never-ending void of, what am I meant to be doing with my life? Am I on the right path? Start making moves and you'll see. It'll feel right. You'll know when you're on the right path and when you're not on the right path. I hope that this video alleviated some pressure of that term purpose. So important to ask questions and don't just take things that I'm even saying, like explore these concepts for yourself. But thank you for being here. I'm just gonna lay on the hammock, probably fall asleep, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.